Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? It is Thursday night here in Tokyo. I don't know what day it is where you are. If you're watching live, it could be a Thursday, it could be a Wednesday. If you're watching on the replay, then I hope you are having a great day. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you can join the live lesson next time. We got a great lesson today. We're going to be doing an intermediate to advanced lesson today. We will be talking about different modal verbs, but we're going to be talking about the certainty of these verbs. So each of these verbs will have a different kind of certainty, whether we think it's going to happen or we think it might not happen. It's a good lesson. It's going to help you speak more fluently. So as always, I will put the lesson onto the screen, and I'm going to do that right now. Let's share my screen here. Okay, and I don't see the lesson. 1 second. Let's make sure I've got it. There it is. Okay, bear with me for 1 second as I put the lesson onto the screen. I've just located it now, and there you go. Now remember, if you want a copy of this lesson, feel free to let me know. You can email me. You can find my information, my email on my YouTube channel, or you can just leave me a message in the comment section, just letting me know you want a copy of this PDF, and I can send that to you. We will be talking about certainty today. We will be talking about certainty. But let's look at one slang word first. The slang word we are going to look at here is rules. Rules. Okay. Now, rules has the original meaning of rule means kind of an instruction or a law, some type of statement that we have to follow. For example, if you go to school, there are many rules. If you play a sport, there are many rules. This is different. This is a different meaning. This one here, it says, my mother ruled the house. She definitely wore the pants in the family. My mother ruled the house. She definitely wore the pants in the family. What do you think that means? All right, so here, ruled. Rules means that she was kind of like the top of the house, the leader of the house, the person who controls the house. And she definitely wore the pants in the family. That's another idiom, right? If you wear the pants, if you wear the pants in the family, that means you are the boss, you're the leader. All right, so here the mother wore the pants in the family. So she was the leader of the family. All right, so she controlled the family. Okay, this rules comes from ruler, a ruler, not the tool that you use to draw straight lines, but the person. You can have a person who's a ruler. They rule a country. Okay, but that's a little bit of slang before we start. I wanted to give time to people to jump in, but let's get right into the grammar. We are going to be looking at the grammar now, and we have a lot of different words we're going to study. We have a lot of different words we're going to study. So I'm going to put this onto the screen, and we're going to be talking about the present tense, okay? So everything is present tense today. We're not going to be using past. We're going to be using some form of present tense. That can be regular present tense. That can be present continuous. That could be present perfect. But the main words that we are going to look at are right here that you should see in the middle of your screen right now. These are the main words we will use. All right, and I'll go over each one individually, but first let's just look at the word and kind of like the percentage, the probability. Now, we've got 3 words: could, might, and may. Could, might, and may. Now, if you use these verbs, these modal verbs, then you're saying that the action, it's going to be 50% or less. All right, 50% or less. Now, remember, all of these verbs, a modal verb, could, might, and may, you need to have another verb with it. All right, so you need to have a main verb. Okay, so could, might, and may plus a verb, right? So I'm going to put that onto the screen there. Could, might, may plus a verb. This verb is your main verb. Now, if we say could, might, or may, then it's a 50% chance of happening, or less than 50% possibly. All right, so make sure you keep that in mind. So, if I can make you a very simple sentence, I might go to the park. I might go to the park. Now, basically that's saying there's a 50% chance of me going to the park. So 50% chance I go, or maybe 50% chance I don't go. All right. Now, the next one I've got should and ought to. Now, I got this at 90%, but I actually want to change this. I don't think it's 90. I actually think it's closer to like an 80%. All right, so this is about an 80% here. All right, so I'm going to change that. So should and ought to is about 80%. Most people, when they study should, we learn that this is used for advice. For example, you should eat healthy. You should go to sleep. You should exercise. All right, this is all my advice. But should can also mean to talk about an action that has an 80% chance of happening. Okay, and we'll get into that more a little bit later. Now, the next modal verbs we're going to look at are must, have to, have got to. This is 95%, and I think all the way to 99%. Right, so it's 95 to 99. All right, have to, have got to has the same meaning. All right, so if you're wondering what's the difference, same meaning. Okay, it's the same meaning. Okay, so let's see how we look at each of these now. Let's go down here, and it says could, might, and may. They all have a very similar meaning. It's like 50%. So sometimes it can mean less than 50%. Okay, especially if we have two choices. If there are two choices, then there is less than 50% chance that this action will happen. So for example, if you look, Mike could be at work or he could be at the gym. All right, it's 50-50. It's maybe less than 50-50. There are two choices here. So I don't know where Mike is. He could be at work. He could be at the gym, right? There's less than 50% chance that this is correct, right? Now, let's look at the next one, should. Okay, ought to has the same meaning as should. It's maybe a little bit more common in British English, but in America, in Canada, we usually just use should. Now, we got, like I said, about an 80% chance that this will happen. Now, let's imagine, I believe Mike is at work. I have a strong feeling, 80% feeling Mike is at work. So I would say he should be at work. Okay. Now, make sure we don't like to say should plus a negative adjective. For example, I believe Sue is feeling okay today. All right, I think she's okay. Maybe she was sick, but I think now she is better. So why is she absent today? She didn't come to school. She didn't come to work. Why? She should be better by now. I have a strong feeling she should be better. Now, she should be sick. This is incorrect. We never use a negative adjective. All right, and the last one here, must, have to, have got to, can't, couldn't. It's very, very strong feeling. And it's very logical to understand this. It's very, very common sense. All right. And what does that mean? For example, you ran a marathon this morning. All right. So, for example, if you ran a marathon this morning, you said, hey, Shelly, wow, very noisy. I'm very sorry. Hey, Shelly, I ran a marathon this morning. I would probably say to you, wow, you must be tired. You must be tired. So someone who runs a marathon, it's very easy to believe that they are tired. So you must be tired. Okay. I can't say you are tired because I don't know. So I need to have a modal verb. So must is the strongest one. I have a strong feeling that this is true. It's very easy and logical to make this assumption. So you must be tired. Okay. Another situation. I saw Kaori in the library 5 minutes ago. Okay. So I saw her in the library 5 minutes ago. Then you ask me, where is she? I'm looking for her. So I saw her in the library 5 minutes ago. Most likely she is still in the library. So I would say she must be in the library. Okay, she must be in the library. All right. So if you're still a little confused, don't worry. We'll do some exercises. It will become clearer for you. All right. The more we practice, the more exercises we do, the easier you will understand this. So let's jump in to the very first exercise. Main thing is I want you to choose, must or should or might or may or could or can. Okay. Now, number 1, it says they something here by now. The game has already started. The game has already started. Right? They something here by now. So for me, the game has already started. So I believe that, they, my friends, I believe 80% that they are here. So my answer for this would be they should, and I need a verb. Remember, we always need a verb. They should be here by now. The game has already started. They should be here by now. All right, let's look at number 2. All right, if we look at number 2, she something at work. She's something at work. Today is her day off. She's something at work. Today is her day off. So for this one, what would be your modal verb? All right, and I'm going to make a list of the modal verbs here for everybody. So, and remember, we could always use negative as well. We could also use negative as well. Okay, so remember, there's always negative. Here's the list that you can use. Remember, you will also need a main verb as well. So for me, if we make this bigger, she's something at work today. Today's her day off. So today is her day off, right? That means there's no work. It's a holiday. So it's impossible for her to be at work. So for me, my answer here would be she can't be at work. Today's her day off. She can't be at work. Today's her day off. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Number 3, that something David at the door. He said he'd stop by. That something David at the door. He said he'd stop by. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of context. Okay, so I want you to imagine you're at home, then you hear knock, 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 right? Earlier in the day, David said, oh, I'm going to stop by. I'm going to visit your house. I'm going to visit your house for a short time. Okay. And then suddenly, knock, 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 knock. Right. So David said he's coming. Somebody knocked at the door. So there is a very strong chance. There is a high chance that this person knocking on the door, that must be David. So my answer here would be that must be David at the door. That must be David at the door. All right. Now, if you have any questions, if you're still confused, leave your questions in the comment section. If you're watching on the replay, you can do the same thing. I will definitely answer you. Anybody watching, if this is your first time, and if you like this type of exercise, if you want to study more English, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, do all that kind of stuff. So make sure you subscribe. All right, let's look at number 4. Let's look at number 4. You haven't eaten today. You haven't eaten today. Let's imagine that it's 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. right now. You haven't eaten today. Right? So I'm very surprised. You haven't eaten today? You something starving. You something starving. What is your answer for this? I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to try to answer this. You haven't eaten today. You something starving. Starving means super hungry. All right. Starving is slang. It means very, very hungry. Okay, starving equals very hungry. All right, so which of these modal verbs will you use? You haven't eaten today. You must be starving. You must be starving. You know, it's 5 p.m. and you or this person hasn't eaten. There's a very easy, it's a very easy assumption. It's very easy for me to believe that this person is very hungry. You know, if you don't eat all day, it's 5 p.m., you know, that's very easy to conclude. It's like 99%. This person is definitely hungry. So you must be starving. Okay, let's keep moving. Number 5. Number 5. I don't know what the weather will be like tomorrow. I don't know what the weather will be like tomorrow. So I'm unsure. I don't know. But I think it something, a cloudy day. I don't know what the weather will be like tomorrow, but I think it's something, a cloudy day. For me, the answer here is I'm not sure. If I'm not sure, right? So I don't know. It's telling me there's like a 50% chance or less. All right. So I don't know what the weather will be like tomorrow, but I think it might be a cloudy day. It may be a cloudy day. It could be a cloudy day. All right. So this I don't know is telling me it's about 50%. So might, may would work. It could be a cloudy day. That would work as well. All right, let's look at number 6. All right, so I'm speaking and I say, your son, wow, super, super noisy. Your son, 1 sec while I just close this window. 1 second. Yes. All right, close. Let's make it a little bit quieter in here. Okay, your son got a scholarship. Your son got a scholarship. So a scholarship means that they've gotten some money to go to university. That means they don't have to pay either a company or the government or someone has given them money. It's given them money. It's not a loan. You know, they get the money to use for university. So your son got a scholarship. You something very proud. You something very proud. What would be the answer for this? All right, so if my friend's son got a scholarship, I think the parents, of course, they're going to be super, super happy. It's very easy to understand that. So again, it's very, very easy to know. It's very common sense. So I want a high probability. The highest for me is will. So my answer here, or not will, sir. We're going to use must here. You must be very proud. All right, it's not future, sorry. We're going to be using must. You must be very proud. Cuz, good night. Okay, so your son got a scholarship. You must be very proud. All right, let's look at the next one. Fusa, konbanwa. Good evening, Fusa. Thank you for messaging. I really appreciate it. Number seven. She knew all the answers. And I'm going to add a little bit more information here. Let's put this information here. Let's put that. All right, so she's something, her test, she knew all the answers. She's something, her test, she knew all the answers. All right, so here, what would be your answer? She's something, her test, she knew all the answers. So, all right, she knew all the answers. So that means there's a very, very strong possibility that, you know, she had no problem on this test. If you know all the answers, you are definitely 100% going to pass, right? But we don't know 100%, so the closest would be must. Now, here we must use present perfect. She must have passed her test. She must have passed her test. She knew all the answers. So here I'm going to put a star because we're using present perfect in this one. She must have passed her test. She knew all the answers. Okay. We're going to do a couple more of these fill in the blank ones, and then we're going to move to a better section where you'll have a chance to practice and make sentences. All right. Let's look at number 8. It takes 35 minutes to reach the house. It takes 35 minutes to reach the house. All right, so we are A, and then we've got the house is here. So going from here to here, it takes 35 minutes. Now, this person, this guy, he left 35 minutes ago. So what sentence would I make? What modal verb will I use? Right? You can choose from here. Can, can't, should, might, may, must, have to. And then what verb will we use? So it takes 35 minutes. He left 35 minutes ago. Now, if you feel this is like 90, 95%, 99%, he is home, then I would use must. But if you feel, I'm not sure, maybe there was traffic, maybe he was driving slow, but still there is a good chance. So maybe it would be should. Okay. And of course, we need to have the main verb. And again, it's going to be be. We're going to be using be verb a lot in this. So he must be home by now. Right? So if we're doing must be, then my percentage is going to be 95 to 99%. Now, the opposite, if we're going to be doing should is going to be more in the range of about 80%. So still a very high chance. All right, so both of these are correct. You have to choose what you feel. If you feel it's about 80%, should be. If you feel, 99%, he must be. Okay, 2 more of these, and then we will move to the next section. Number 9 says, my coat isn't where I left it. Right, so I put my coat somewhere. I came back, and my coat is gone. I left it here, but it's gone. Someone, something, it. All right, so what would we use here? Again, depends on what you feel. If you feel it's a strong chance, then we would use must. Right? Now remember, should is 80%, but we can't use it with a negative adjective. Right? So for example, maybe my answer here, someone must have stolen it. Someone must have stolen it. I can't say here, should have stolen it. This is incorrect. Okay, I cannot do this. Okay, should cannot be used with a negative adjective. Okay, so someone must have stolen it. This is a strong belief. I think 90 to 99% that someone stole this. Someone stole my coat. But if I am not sure, if I think maybe someone stole it, maybe someone moved it, I don't know. So in that situation, my modal verb will change. Might have stolen it, may have stolen it, could have stolen it. Right? Now, if I use this as my answer, then I feel, there's a 50% chance or less. Okay, so it all depends on how you feel. Do you feel it is a strong possibility or maybe a 50% possibility? Then we change our modal verb. Okay, number 10. Let's do a different one. Let me get a good one for last one. Okay, what about number 11? Number 11. It says, I don't know for certain, but we something to take a vacation to Italy next year if we keep saving like this. Okay, if we keep saving. So right now, saving like this means I'm saving a lot of money, right? So if I keep doing this, if I keep saving, then maybe take a vacation to Italy next year. Okay, but key thing here is I don't know for certain. I don't know for certain. I'm not sure. That means my probability goes down. I'm probably looking at like 50%. So again, I like to use might. It's one of my favorite words. If you want to use may, that's fine. Same meaning. If you want to use could, that's fine. I'm going to use might. Now I need to figure out my main verb. I don't know for certain, but we might something to take a vacation to Italy next year. All right. The main verb here is I want to use a verb that means can. Right? But I can't use can because can's a modal verb. But I need a verb that means the same as can. And that verb is be able to. I don't know for certain, but we might be able to take a vacation to Italy next year if we keep saving like this. All right, so I don't know for certain, but we might be able to take a vacation to Italy next year. Okay, good. Any questions? Leave it in the comment section. That was the fill in the blank part of this lesson. I do have more. So if you want, you can ask for this PDF and I'll send it to you. But what we're going to do next is we're going to move to the application. The application says, please make sentences expressing certainty after you read the situation. All right, so let's look at the first one. The situation is your friend just finished running a marathon. All right, what would you say to your friend? All right, so my friend just finished running a marathon. It's like, wow, you just ran a marathon, right? Maybe my first response would be, you must be so tired. Okay. Or maybe I would say, you must be so happy. They just finished. They ran a marathon. That's amazing. So they must be so happy. You must be so tired. All right. So you're going to read the situation and make a sentence. So number 2, your coworker isn't at work today. You're not sure of the reason. So what sentence could we make for this? The coworker could be a guy or a girl. You could say he or she. All right, because I said I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the reason. So because it says I'm not sure, I would probably use might or may or could. So I'll say, he might be sick. He might be sick. Okay, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, it is Tuesday, the day after a long weekend. Your coworker comes to work, and your coworker has a really dark suntan, like their skin is very brown. That you know that she likes to go surfing. You know she likes to go surfing. So when you see your coworker, she walks into the office, she's very suntanned. So maybe my first feeling, my first thought is, it's very easy to understand. It's very logical. Suntan, she likes surfing. So my sentence would probably be, she must have gone surfing. She must have gone surfing. Okay, let's look at number 4. You and your friend are eating dinner. You notice that your friend hasn't eaten any of the peas. Okay, peas are green peas. So your friend hasn't eaten any peas. There's peas on the plate, but your friend hasn't touched them. What kind of sentence would you make for this? Right. For me, again, it's quite logical. If someone's not touching one of the vegetables, not eating them, then for me, that's a very clear, logical, common sense feeling that this person doesn't like peas, right? So, I might say he must not like peas. He must not like peas. All right. I think there's a 99% chance that this person doesn't like peas. Okay. Let's look at number 5. All right. So you go out for dinner with friends, and you must meet your friends at 9 p.m. So you have 9 p.m. That's when you're meeting all of your friends. Right now, it's 8:55 p.m. and everyone has arrived. Everyone is there except one person. But, I know that person. They are very responsible. I have a strong feeling that, maybe they will arrive soon. Maybe my feeling is like 80%. Maybe it's 99%. So what would we make? What sentence would we make? Sorry. For me, I might say, if my friend is a girl, she should be here soon. She should be here soon. Okay. For me, it's like an 80% chance. I said 80% because there's only 5 minutes left. So maybe it's not so easy to believe it's 99%. If you want to put she must be here soon, it's fine, but I like this one. Okay, let's look at number 6. Your boss is absent today. Your boss is absent today. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more information. I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you some choices. Maybe one is sick. 2 is meeting. So here I've got 2 choices. So a lot of times when we have 2 choices, we're not sure. If we're not sure, maybe it's better to use could, might, or may, especially when we have 2 choices. Okay, so my answer for this, I could say is, my boss, she could be sick, or she could be at a meeting. I don't know which one. It's like a 50% chance. Maybe sick, or maybe at a meeting somewhere. All right. When we have 2 choices, we like to use could be, or could be. There's a less than 50% chance. Okay. Let's look at number 7. The weather forecast said that there is a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. A 20% chance of rain tomorrow. What would be our sentence here? 20% chance of rain. Now, we didn't go over 20%, right? We went to like 50%. Now, might, may, and could, which you see on the screen, it can go low. It can go much lower than 50%. So you could say, it might rain tomorrow. It might rain tomorrow. That's like, it could be a 20% feeling. All right, so it might rain tomorrow. Now, we could also go the opposite. Let's think 80%. There's 20% chance of rain. That means 80% chance of no rain, right? So it should be clear tomorrow. It should be clear tomorrow. It should be a nice day tomorrow. All right, so you could also go the opposite here as well. All right, let's keep moving. Remember, if I'm going too fast, if you're watching live, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you could pause it. Pause the screen and take time to think, even if you're watching live. If you're watching in the replay, you can definitely pause the video, take your time to look and read the situation, take your time to look at my answer as well, and completely understand it before we move on. So, and if I am going too fast, just let me know in the comment section and say, hey, Shelly, could you please slow it down a bit? Okay, number 8. Your husband worked 12 hours today, right? 12 hours. So let's say like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Your husband just enters the house. For any guys watching this, let's say it's your wife worked 12 hours today. What will you say to him? So your husband just walks in the door. It's a 12-hour work day. For me, someone who works 12 hours, if they walk through the door, I would probably say, hey, you must be exhausted. Hey, you must be exhausted. I just put hey because I'm imagining that I am talking with the person. Say, hey, you must be exhausted. All right. So exhausted means very tired. All right. Let's get this banner off the screen. All right. Number 9. My house keys are not in my bag. My house keys are not in my bag. And I'm panicking. I'm sure everyone has experienced that. You're looking in your bag and you're looking for your house keys and you can't find them. You begin to panic. All right, so I'm panicking. What sentence would we make here? All right, if I'm always very careful. Okay, let's imagine I'm always careful. I always put my keys in my bag. I always do it. Completely, 100%, I always do it. But today, they're not in the bag. So maybe my first feeling is I must have lost my keys. Okay. I could say another sentence is very similar meaning is I must have dropped my keys somewhere. I must have dropped my keys somewhere. Okay. There's many answers if you want. I must have lost my keys. I must have dropped my keys. Maybe you could say, I might have left my keys at home. Okay. I might have left my keys at home. I must have forgotten my keys. All right. So again, it's all your feeling. If you think there's a 50% chance the keys are home, I might have left them at home. If you think there's like a 90%, 95% chance you lost the keys, then you'd say, I must have lost my keys. Okay. It all depends on how you feel, your feeling of certainty. Is it 50% chance certain, 80% chance? Is there a 90 to 99% chance? All right, situation number 10. My family is coming to Japan to visit me for the first time. All right, so my family's coming. It's their first time to come to Japan. How do you think I feel? How do you think I feel? I think this is quite easy, right? I obviously love my family, my mom, my sisters. And if they were coming to Japan, it's very easy to understand how I would feel, my feelings, right? So my feeling would be, if you would probably say to me, you must be so stoked. You must be so excited. Okay, so I put the word stoked here because I wanted to add a new vocabulary word. Stoked, this means excited. Okay, it has the same meaning as excited. This is a slang word. You must be so stoked. You must be so excited. You must be so happy. You must be over the moon. You must be on cloud nine. All right, these are all ways to say very, very happy. All right, let's do a few more. Let's do a few more here. Number 11. Let's get rid of that S. It's a typo. Number 11 says, the girl always carries a new designer bag every day. This girl, every day, she has a new designer bag. So what kind of feeling, what comment would you make about her? All right, for me, a new designer bag every day, that's super, super expensive. So, I would say she must be rich. She must be rich. Okay, there's a very strong possibility, 90%, 95%, 99%, she is rich. Every day, new designer bag. That is easy to understand. She has a lot of money. Okay. Maybe you could also say maybe her family must be rich. But it's the girl. She's carrying the designer bag, so she must be rich. All right. Number 12. Number 12. It says, Ken told you that he would stop by at about 9 p.m. tonight. It is now 9 p.m. and someone is at the door. Someone is at the door. Now, for me, if this was a situation I were in, so Ken told me that he would stop by my house at 9 p.m. It's now 9 p.m. and suddenly, knock, 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 right? I would probably say to my friend, my roommate, or even to myself, maybe just speaking to myself, I would probably say, once I can move this. Oh no, let's put a new one. One second, it's frozen. My screen's frozen. All right, I'm gonna start it up again. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Okay. All right, so what I would say here is that must be Ken. That must be Ken. Okay. If you wanted to say it must be Ken, that's okay. All right. We're not going to say he must be Ken, because if I can see the person, I know who Ken is. All right. We're talking about the person at the door. The person at the door, the subject here would be that or it. Okay. The situation of somebody knocking at the door. Oh, that must be Ken. Okay. Oh, it must be Ken. Okay. I think we've got 13, 14, and 15. So let's do two more. And then number 15, you can do for homework. Number 13, it says, there is a good chance you can finish the report by Monday, but you're not completely sure. What will you tell your boss? Okay, there's a good chance you can finish your report by Monday, but you're still not sure. You're not completely sure. It's not like 100%. It's not 99%. What will you tell your boss? So for me, this is a great sentence. Anybody who is working, this is a great sentence for you to remember. You can use this a lot. My sentence would be, I should be done by Monday. I should be done by Monday. Right? So if your boss asks you, hey, how's the report going? Well, yeah, boss, I should be done by Monday. I should be done by Monday. If we wanted to make a more difficult sentence, a little bit higher level grammar, okay, we're still going to use I should. I should be able to finish it by Monday. Okay, same meaning. I should be able to finish it by Monday. I should be able to get it done by Monday. Get it done. Okay, that's another sentence we could say. Same meaning as finish. I should be able to get it done by Monday. Okay, let's look at the last one. Number 14. You're having a party and you are unsure, you're not sure about Sarah's attendance. So will Sarah come? Will Sarah not come? You don't know. My other friend, your other friend, asks you if Sarah is coming. Hey, is Sarah coming to the party? What will I say? All right, because I'm saying, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. So if my friend asks me, hey, is Sarah coming to the party? Honestly, my sentence would just be that she might, because I'm answering the question. If I want to make a complete sentence, she might come to the party. She might come to the party. All right, it's 50% or less. I'm very unsure, so I would use might in this situation. All right, now let's look at number 15. Number 15 is going to be your homework. Number 15 is your homework. The situation is your husband, your wife, your friend, your roommate, anybody you want has a very bad sunburn. A very bad sunburn. What's a sunburn? A sunburn is when you stay out in the sun for too long and your skin becomes very red and painful. That's a sunburn. That's not a suntan. A suntan means your skin becomes brown and golden, which it's not painful. A sunburn is very painful. So your husband, your wife, your friend, your roommate has a terrible, very bad sunburn. So what will you say to him or what will you say to her, right? This is homework. So leave your answer for this in the comment section after the lesson is done. If you want to put your answers now, that's fine too. So this is homework. So make sure you do this. Anybody who's watching on the replay, please do number 15 for homework. All right. And if you have any questions about today's lesson, we're looking at the certainty. Like, what percentage of or how certain are we that something will happen? If I'm very certain, I have a very strong belief, I'll say must. If it's like 80%, I'll say should. If it's like 50% or less, might, may, could. All right, these are great verbs to tell us the possibility, the probability of an action happening. All right, so make sure you use this. We're using this in the present tense today. So make sure you use only present tense grammar forms. Okay, so that is the end. Remember, if you guys want a copy of this lesson, that was the end of today's lesson. Let me know. I can send you a copy. If anybody has any questions about today's lesson, about any English, you can ask me right now since I'm here. Otherwise, if you can't think of a question and you remember it later, you can ask in the comment section and I'll check and answer your question. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Questions? All right. If there are no questions, that's great. Hopefully that means everybody understands today's lesson. If something is confusing, just let me know in the comment section. I can help to clarify it for you. Next live lesson for me will be on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, it will be at about 8:35 or 8:45 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. So it's going to be an early morning lesson. If anybody has any lesson requests, if there's something that you want me to do, a lesson that you want me to teach, leave your lesson requests in the comment section and I'll make that lesson. Hopefully I can make it in time for Saturday. If not, I'll do that lesson on another day, but I should be able to. I should be able to make the lesson if you let me know. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. It looks like there was no questions. Hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. Remember, anybody new watching this, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. It'll really help out the channel. And of course, give me a thumbs up and check out my other videos and hit thumbs up on all those ones as well. And then hit the notification bell so you know when the next live lesson is. All right, guys. Until the next lesson. Hope you guys have a great day, great night, a great morning. I'll see you guys all in the next lesson. See ya.